a dumpy little office in West Covina, California, it's the Foos Show! Hey, what is up, everybody? I am Joe C.
And I'm Josh.
And thank you all very much for listening to the Foos Show. Thank you for downloading the pod on most major podcast apps, subscribing, and telling a friend like a champ. You can always reach us at Foos Show. That's FWBarshow.com. And FWBarshow Show is our handle on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out, drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of foos. Ain't that right, Foo?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, on tap today, we have Steph. Say hello, Steph.
What's up, my dudes?
What's up, Foulette?
What's crackalating?
It's cracking.
Right on, right on. Well, unfortunately, today, and we usually record this episode on a Tuesday.
Correct.
But we're doing it on Monday because something very tragic went down today, and we can't not talk about it, seeing that, you know, we do a nerd news segment on the show. But, Josh, you want to let everybody know what happened today?
Yes, so today, November 12th of the year 2018, Mr. Stanley sadly passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
kind of saw it coming, no?
I mean,
he was getting up there in his years.
He was getting up there. He's around 95 now.
A lot less. He was being seen a lot less out in public.
Yes, especially after his wife passed last year. I think it got to a point. I think earlier this year he just like no more public appearances, and he just kind of fell back to the wayside.
Well, there was also some people like messing with him too, with his money. Like they were doing some weird shady shit with his money.
Yeah, they were trying to take advantage of the whole, during that whole Me Too stage. Not that all of Me Too's, people taking advantage, but these people were. These people were trying to take advantage of this guy, on his deathbed, pretty much. Recently, today after the news broke, his daughter, he's survived by his daughter J.C. Lee. She had this to say about her father's passing. My father loved all of his fans. He was the greatest, most decent man, and he was the best.
Yeah,
he was the best. He started his career on Timely Comics. That's what they used to be called, Marvel, when they first started up, as a 19-year-old kid that worked in the coffee room, pretty much at the studio.
Yeah, he just had a passion for it, even from like a really young age. And to be honest, man, he never really grew up.
No,
he never grew up. His exterior grew old, but he always, like, every interview that I saw, at least the most recent ones, were always very lively and always, he was very hip to what's going on these days.
Yeah, he was very loving, very open, very just full of joy.
He always had a smile on his face every time you saw him.
Yeah, and you couldn't help but, like, laugh or smile when you saw him. Just like, oh, yeah, do you look Stanley again? Like, especially in his Marvel cameos, all those Marvel cameos he did.
Yeah.
They actually filmed his last few cameos for the Avengers 4 movie and also for Captain Marvel.
Now, what did we hypothesize he was in all those cameos?
Well, they confirmed that he is the informant. So for the Watchers, like in the scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where he passed by, when he's telling all the Watchers what's going on, that's what he is. He's an informant. He just
for the Watchers.
He's for the Watchers. He just lets them know what's going on. I
like how they, because at the beginning of all these Marvel movies, even like the first Spider-Man, there was always a Stan Lee cameo. But the fact that they were able to spin it in some crazy way for him to be an informant like that,
it's not only
crazy for those paying attention.
Yeah, it's not only dating back to the Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi one. It dates back to like the 70s when they had the live-action Spider-Man TV show. When they also had the Hulk and everything, he would make cameos there back then too, and that's just because he loved to be around his work, and he always told himself he wanted to do that kind of stuff.
Well, hey man, since we're talking about it, you want to get into nerd news today?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web.
Amazon. Do you shop on Amazon? Would you like to support the show? Well, go to foobarshow.com. That's FOOBarshow.com. At the bottom of the homepage, click on the Amazon banner, bookmark it on your browser, and do your regular Amazon shopping from there. It doesn't cost you anything. You're just supporting the show.
Yeah.
Please support the show. Please. We're destitute.
You sounded desperate, man. You sounded desperate. Relax.
Oh, sorry. I went down a dark tunnel there. I'm back.
All right, what's up?
All right. So, in a little more lighter news, I don't know if you guys saw the recent Detective Pikachu trailer that came out today. You did not? Oh, well, here's a little bit of it.
You want me to turn this down?
Sure do, buddy.
All right, here we go.
Rhyme City, a celebration of the harmony between humans and Pokemon.
Tim, your dad was a legend in this precinct. If you were anything like your dad...
I'm not.
I remember. You wanted to be a Pokemon trainer when you were young.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Someone there? Whoever you are, I know how to use this.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I know. You can't understand me. But put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
Did you just talk?
Whoa. Did you just understand me?
Oh my god, you can understand me. Stop. I've been so lonely.
They try to talk to me all the time. All they hear is Pika Pika.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika! Yeah, Pika Pika Pika. He's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
So, pretty much it's supposed to be like just an everyday story where people are living amongst Pokemon. They're actually, they show them all flying around. I mean, they look pretty good.
Is this a movie?
It's a movie.
It's a live action.
A
live action movie.
I thought it was just like one of those spoof trailers, nothing ever happened.
It's a live action.
They're actually
Pokemon
going
movie.
through with it.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And some of the Pokemon look pretty badass, like Charizard.
Yeah,
Charizard looked pretty cool in there.
They're trying to make them look, like they would look if they were real.
If they were real, yeah.
They're not gonna look perfect.
No.
You can tell with CGI.
Yeah. But it's not. Doesn't seem too bad.
You mean they're not gonna have people dressed up as in furries running around?
No,
I think that's
causing
the
a ruckus.
porn. That's the porn version of this.
Oh, that is.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We're filming it here.
That one's called Dick and Chew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, Dick and Chew.
Dick and Chew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. You gotta work on it.
You gotta work on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'll go back to the drawing board on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But, continue on to nerd news. Stan Lee did pass, unfortunately. But we gotta remember him for a lot of the works he did. A lot of people have been... putting out statements today, in remembrance of him.
Yeah. Like
Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, who responded to, what happened today. He said, sorry, hold on. I'm not going to tell you specifically, but Stan always appreciated a good surprise. So... he said, the amazing thing to be thankful for is that Stan got to see it all happen. Stan dominated pop culture. He saw it and was aware, and he loved it. I've been saying for years that the characters he created will outlive all of us, making the movies and enter the pantheon of the myth which he read and was inspired by as a kid.
Yep.
So, everyone from going from Robert Downey Jr. to Chris Evans to even DC Comics themselves issued a statement because he actually did. He helped out just the comic world in general. He wasn't really a part of the whole Marvel versus DC.
He was the champion for the comic book, for that graphic novel style of literature.
For comics in general. Yeah. He was pretty much the advocate for it.
He's the backbone of comics as we know it.
Yeah. He even made a comic that said if Stan Lee created DC Universe.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no,
really?
no kidding. Yeah, there's like a little book that he made, and
what would he have done different?
I think a few of the characters changed. That's where you got like the Dark Claw, where it was Batman with the Wolverine mix.
Oh shit!
You got like those more amalgam style like characters. Yeah, but Stanley was great, and
he's great. And let me bring this up because Stan Lee
What do you got
actually
there, Steph?
wrote a memoir, and it's called Amazing, Fantastic, Incredible Stan Lee. And guess how it's written?
How?
In the style of a comic book. And it really lists his childhood stories, how he was actually in World War II.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was a non-combat. He was a writer, and he actually wrote advertisements for anti-venereal disease. I want to pull it up here.
All right.
This was actually one of his creations that he put around Europe. VD, not me.
Not me.
Because I wanted to stop the spread of venereal disease.
Oh, man.
And so he met Jack Kirby. He even worked alongside Dr. Seuss for a little while when they were in the army. And it's a great
Dr.
read.
Seuss was in the army?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
World War II, man. Everyone was in the army.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
AKA Theodore Dizelle.
Is that Dr. Seuss?
That's Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
So it highlights all the great parts of his life, how he partnered with several different people to make several different comic books, and he actually joined the army because he was writing Captain America, and he said, "Well, I can't just write about a war hero and not join the war."
Yeah.
So he joined the war, and
so you can write better things about it.
Yeah.
They found out he was a script writer for comics, so they categorized him as a playwright. And so when you get categorized as a playwright, you get pushed more towards office administrative duties and stuff like that rather than the front lines. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But
I highly recommend it. It's a prized possession of mine now. Gotta go and put it in a nice box and frame it.
Yeah. You should not be carrying that around vicariously.
Oh no.
Did he sign it, or is it just a regular?
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
he signed it?
He signed it.
Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
There's the signature.
Yep.
All right.
Store that away.
I went with my friend Christine. She said, Stan Lee's having a book signing. We have to go. And this was a couple years ago. Because we knew that he was getting up there in age. It's like, you know what? This might be our last chance.
Early to mid 90s, so.
Yeah. I mean, I give people a break after they reach 90. It's
Pretty
like, okay,
much.
yeah, you're 90.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you lived a hell of a life. Good on you.
You got to this part.
Yeah. Good on you. Well, that's it for me in nerd news, guys.
Not for me, though.
Oh, what?
I want to talk about Walking Dead.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yes.
Steph, what did you think about this last episode? And we're probably going to do some spoilers here, everyone. So let's see.
Hold on. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Right.
Cool.
So
Thanks,
if you
Josh.
haven't seen it within the last 24 hours, because that's when it came out, turn away now. Or just, cover your ears and say la 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 la.
Right. For like 3 minutes. So what did you think of the whole time jump that they're doing and how they're portraying Negan as like a nice guy or just like some guy?
Actually, in the comic book, there is a time jump. And in this episode, they mention a fair that brings together communities. That all happens in the comic book.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
And as far as Negan goes, Negan in the comic book is in jail, and he has nobody to talk to.
Yeah, so he'll talk to anybody.
So he'll talk to anybody who will listen to him.
So Judith is doing her homework and talking to Negan at the same time. We're trying to get answers from
And
Negan.
about that, why is she doing complex math? She's like supposed to be 6, 7, 8, something like
genius.
that. She's just like, if one plane leaves at 500 miles an hour, and
those are the word problems I got when I was in elementary school.
I got those same ones.
okay,
Yeah.
look, I was in like remedial math or some shit. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I guess.
So like
Yeah.
trying to learn my multiplication
supposed to brag
You
table.
about
have your
anything like
master's degree?
Now she does.
Yeah, good job. Good
Yeah.
job.
Now she does.
Yeah. Took me a long time.
No, shit.
College education,
You
everybody.
did it. You did it.
Go get one.
Yeah, so that happened, and one thing that really stood out is pretty much what you've been saying, Josh, is the whole thing where we're seeing these walkers that are able to talk to each other.
Yes, the whispers.
The whispers. They're like, where are they?
Yeah. These guys are creepy as all fuck.
Yeah.
And So you're going to start seeing some crazy shit going forward in this season.
It's funny because it was very subtle. So if you weren't paying attention to the audio of the episode going on when who was it? Eugene and Rosita cover themselves up in mud to escape a swarm of walkers. You just hear them say that. It's like, where are they? Yeah, like all weird. It was very audible if you were paying attention. But there's that, and I'm sure that's gonna pop its ugly head out at some point in this, maybe next season.
Yeah, you're gonna eventually meet the leader, Alpha. He's gonna be a crazy motherfucker. Steph, you know more about him than I do, I think. Do you, or did you read up?
Well, I don't know how much you want me to spoil. The Freaky episode. So.
Oh yeah, it's true. Well,
it's not as intense as the Negan saga, but it's still frustrating to get through.
Yeah.
This Whisperers.
And has a lot happened after the whole Whisperers thing in the comic books? Like, how far are we in the comic books?
I haven't caught up on that. The comics are pretty far right now.
I finished the Whisperers saga, and after that, I stopped reading for a while, so I have to catch back up.
All right.
But that's a lot of comic books. That's like 15 years worth of comic books right there, just getting to the Whisperers. Mm-hmm. So I have to catch up.
Well, what are we looking forward to in the next episode, Steph? Is it when they're realizing that the swarm of zombies are acting funny or are more organized?
So I think they think that the walkers are evolving.
Yeah.
That they're not as unintelligent as they think they are.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're going to piece together
that it's just people in them that are making them
skinwalkers or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Seems like action adventure, but the Whisperers are pretty frustrating. They really are, and you'll see it in these next coming episodes.
They're going to lose a lot of viewers because Negan killing so many people, as brutal as he did, turned away a lot of people because they killed a lot of favorite characters and shit like that, and that was frustrating. So if you can imagine this kind of frustration going down now.
This is going to be a different type of frustration, but nonetheless, it's going to be equally as frustrating.
And in probably classic AMC fashion, they're going to drag this out as much as they can.
Oh, definitely. Especially with the movies coming out. Mm-hmm. And the movies are scheduled to come out sometime next year, I believe. Mm-hmm. From what Andrew Lincoln's been kind of teasing at. Mm-hmm. Or I believe they're gonna start production within the next year, and he's gonna the movies would be releasing 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
You got at least like 10 years worth of content still coming up, man.
I will say that within the Whisperers, you know how we haven't seen like a real death in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Gregory doesn't really count.
Okay. I mean, Carol just set a bunch of people on fire.
Well, then, whatever.
All right.
That don't matter. I don't know. That was brutal. That was a savage scene.
That was fucking savage of Carol.
She did it while they were sleeping.
Yeah, it was intense. It was intense.
I need to watch this episode.
Carol gives no fucks.
She does not. So within the saga, there are going to be some major character deaths.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. If they want to follow the comic book, which it seems like they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, characters don't exist in either or. You know,
like Daryl doesn't exist in the comic books.
Yeah, and then some characters have already passed away in the comic book prior to
the TV. Alive on the TV.
So we'll see what happens.
Oh, you know what? I heard this theory last week. I forget the name of the guy. He was like a medic or a doctor. Had like black guy with glasses, dreads. Not dreads, or maybe braids, but he usually had them tied back. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
And he just disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
And he just disappeared.
What is his name?
Yeah, so that guy is supposed to be behind the helicopter somehow.
Oh.
I think. That's what I heard, and I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's one of the theories I'm hearing out there. It's just like, there's a reason why he disappeared. in one of the episodes, and this was like two years ago.
Yeah, this was before they ran into Negan.
Mm-hmm.
This was like right before they ran into Negan.
Yeah,
that he just all of a sudden up
and
and
then
vanished.
and then I remember Steph, you telling me because you read the comic books that he's a medic, like he's he knows his medicine, and all of a sudden we have this other guy doing the doctor work.
Sadiq.
Yeah, Sadiq.
Sadiq.
Yeah.
That Carl found.
Yeah, that was the one that Carl saved.
So
Yeah, I don't think he's in the comic book if I remember.
Sadiq.
And one.
Well, it doesn't
I
matter
don't know.
because
It doesn't matter.
because I thought that was really interesting, considering we know that there's an outside world out there, or there's something going on out there. Because there's one thing for there to be an active helicopter, and that could have just come from that garbage dump. I mean, that could have just been somebody who fixed the helicopter. But the fact that the helicopter had somewhere to go to take Rick, says a lot.
No, yeah, they're hinting at Scott Gimple right after that episode during the Talking Dead, pretty much announced that you're going to see a much bigger world where what these movies are going to be. Like, you're going to find out what really is going on worldwide, not just in fucking Little Alexandria, Virginia. So you're going to see a lot of crazy shit. He may go. I think they're going to film in London at some point. They're definitely going to be filming all around the U.S. for starters, and then maybe like the final movie will be in London.
I'm giddy, man.
Dude,
I'm giddy.
So much.
I don't know. I'm just not I'm not going to give up on The Walking Dead as easily as other people have, because I think that they always have something up their sleeve, even if it doesn't follow the comic books, which I don't even read.
No, it's by this point, it's not really following
its own thing.
too much. Like,
yeah,
the
and that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine at this point. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. Just
people get dramatic about it.
People get dramatic. People just get some people get fatigued.
I like seeing the parallels, because with the TV show you can take it in a whole new direction. It doesn't have to follow it verbatim. Like,
oh no,
yeah,
not like a movie. If you're going to do a movie or a cinematic, where you have to follow a structure, follow the structure to what the storyline is, and then you can put little some pieces or alter some.
That's a great thing about television.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, that's all I got for nerd news. Steph, you got some health and such, man?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Health and such with Steph.
What is up, my dudes? So,
hi, Steph.
As of today, there have been a confirmed 205 deaths for 2018 in the Congo. For Ebola!
Again?
Ebola's back?
Ebola's back. Ebola is one of those hard bacterial contagions that is...
Isn't it like one of those types of viruses that just constant, like it evolves?
It's really hard to contain in sort of like a third world country because it's in the water.
Oh.
And once it's in the water, all the body fluids and... people are drinking, or they're washing their hands, their clothes. If an infected patient comes in contact with it, then it spreads like wildfire, and it's really hard to contain. And so over the years, the CDC, the WHO, all these health organizations have been...
The WHO?
The WHO.
The WHO.
They have been sending resources and reinforcements there to try and contain it, and they actually had to do a cultural educational change, because typically people of the Congo, they would have to wash the body of the person that's dead, of their family member, and actually several family members would have to wash the body, and then they would change their clothes, and then they would bury them. Meanwhile, if they're infected with Ebola, if that person's infected with Ebola, now everybody else is infected. And then they go home and they spread it to their family. So you can see how that spreads really quickly. And so they try to wash it off.
That's not ideal.
So they actually had to relearn how to bury their dead. So don't touch them, just package them up, or, say your goodbyes. And with their religious ceremonies and everything, have to make it peaceful and still meaningful.
Yeah.
But... essentially, don't touch them, don't wash them.
Yeah.
And to bury them in the ground. And then they had to relearn how to use sterile fields. And they would, the CDC and would give them chlorine wipes. They would give them tools to clean their households, but it's still so hard to contain. And there's posters everywhere, stop Ebola. And there's actually a vaccine that they're trying to work on. And it's been successful in like the trials, but I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to contain it. It's one of those things like it should have been contained already.
Yeah. And
kind of like our fires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
That too.
It's doing wonders for my fucking for my throat.
Oh, my sinuses.
And my sinuses.
Yeah, my sinuses are
out
of whack.
I was driving to work today, and I was like sneezing half the time. It's like, no, I'm driving. It's so scary.
Dude, yeah, it sucks. It sucks right now, but also, I mean, it also sucks for those that are, involved in it. So,
and especially
condolences out to everyone out there.
Especially in Malibu, where there's really like one way to get out.
Yeah,
PCH or the canyons are on fire.
Yeah.
I think so. They had to evacuate everybody and all the wildlife as well.
Yeah, this day is just dark.
I know.
let's take a break, man.
It's not a good day today.
It's not a good day.
Well, Josh, don't be so sad. We still have sports, a joint report, and a music segment.
Woohoo!
All right. Hey, podcast listeners, Joe C here. Are you digging all the music talk and want to see what my band, The Fallen Electric, has in store? Check us out at thefallenelectric.com for all news, show dates, and contact information. Also, be sure to listen to our album, Never Seen the World, available on all digital music stores and streaming apps. It's time to get electrified.
Let's just go and waste some time on what was recreated.
And we're back. Hey, Josh, you got some sports?
Oh, yeah.
Sports with Josh.
What up, Foos?
What's up, man?
All right, so in sports, I wanted to kind of start off by recapping our pick'ems from last week. So, it was pretty diverse, or at least I thought it was diverse. So, to start off, Joe C.
Yes.
You and the Foo picked the Panthers against the Steelers. And me and Steph picked the Steelers. So
Steel Panthers.
Yes. We picked the Steel Panthers.
Steel Panthers.
Right. So Steel Panthers game.
Yeah. I mean, those were the only games that we were off. That one, the Indianapolis Colts against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was the only one that picked the Jags, so all three of you guys got 1 point up on me on that one. And then the Lions, all three of you douchebags picked the Lions against the Bears.
And how did they do?
And they got demolished.
Yeah.
They got spanked by the Bears.
Do you remember what the score was on that one?
I can find it right now. But it was it was pretty bad. But we were also all disappointed because the Eagles lost, man. The Eagles lost.
Did I pick the Eagles?
All of us picked the
God
Eagles.
God damn it. Well, then it doesn't matter.
They let me and all of us down. So the final score to the Bears and Lions game was 34-22. It was not that close.
Oh, shit. Really?
They were, the Bears got up real fast, 26-7 at the half.
Wow.
Damn.
And then they added on another 8, so they were up pretty much 34-7 at that point. And then the Lions got, some garbage touchdowns. They got 3 points in the.
You wouldn't even give them that.
They
were garbage.
Cabbage. Yeah, no, man. I mean, the Lions have been a little disappointing. Like they had one good game against the Patriots. I don't know how the fuck they pulled that out of their ass, and then all of a sudden they get blown out by the fucking Bears.
Do you believe any of that shit?
No, I don't. It's crazy. Oh, they're not the only other team to kind of disappoint this week. Steph's Falcons disappointed.
I know. I was surprised.
Terribly. They lost to the Browns.
Against the Browns.
The Browns.
They got whooped
28-16. But
I thought the Browns are just, like a poop euphemism that I use whenever I want to take them to the Super Bowl.
Well, they still are.
Okay.
I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet, so you can still use that euphemism.
Awesome.
That's fine. That's
All
fine.
right, cool. Well, I feel better about myself.
But the Browns had
Giddy up.
Browns had like a stellar performance by their rookie running back, Nick Chubb. That is his name, Nick Chubb.
It's a joke. When you give me that look, it's a joke.
Wow, you had that queued up perfectly. I'm not even mad. Not even mad. No, not at all. So Nick Chubb ran for 20 carries, 176 rushing yards.
Wow.
Rushing.
Wow.
And and he had 33 receiving yards. So he had a total of 209 yards from scrimmage. So it's the most in Browns football history, beating the likes of Otto Graham and Jim Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a pretty big day. So, Steph, your Falcons need to step it up.
I don't know what the fuck is happening this year.
Seriously.
Playoffs?
Talk about playoffs?
But, Foo, they weren't the only other team. The Titans beat the shit out of the Patriots.
Yeah, I saw that. That was odd.
That was odd. I mean, people are saying that maybe this is finally when Tom's going down, but people always say that shit when the Patriots lose. And then the next game, the Patriots...
What's their record so far, the Patriots?
Right now, they're 7-3.
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Browns at 3-6-1.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and 1.
Right.
What? Come on. They have a third column.
They're tied.
That was their first game.
Yeah, I know. God damn it, Browns. Anyway, the Patriots... A lot of them are saying that maybe it's Tom Brady, he's starting to slow down. Like, when they looking at his passes, they're kind of losing velocity. Which, dude's 40 years old. What the fuck do you expect?
It happens to pitchers, it happens to quarterbacks, it happens to anybody using a fucking arm to throw something.
Look, if Peyton Manning wasn't able to beat out time, then Tom Brady will not do the same. He's not some fucking...
He's a god.
No.
He's a gorgeous god.
Well, if you talk to everyone in fucking New England...
In Boston.
Fucking all Boston. Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we all pretty much finished 3 and 4.
All of us?
All of us.
So nobody moved?
No one moved.
No, I'm sadly still in last place.
So it's a stay of execution.
So I didn't go down.
You didn't go down.
All right.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
So the current standings as they are I'm in the lead 27-17.
Mm-hmm.
The Foos following me 25-19.
All right.
And then you and Steph are coming up the rear at 24-20.
Oh, man. Well, that's not good.
Nope. But here are the games I'm going to...
Rear?
That's the same.
No, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just wanted to say it.
You wet blanket. Anyway.
Oh, God.
The next game's just to kind of think on, Foo. I want you all to marinate until the next podcast.
All right. What do you got here?
So it's going to be the...
Do I have to pick now?
You don't have to pick now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Pick tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Look, stop trying to interrupt the guy.
I know, man. Let me do my...
Let him speak!
Yeah.
Bastard.
No!
Hold on. I just want to say... I'm just kidding.
That's it. I'm done.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Get this over with.
All right. We're doing it live. All right. So, first game is going to be the Packers at Seattle. Then it's going to be the Cowboys at Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Titans at Colts. The Texans at the Redskins. Steelers at the Jags. Vikings at Bears. And then the one game that's the most interesting to me on this is the Chiefs at the Rams. But it's not going to be here in LA.
Oh,
it's going to be played in Estadio Azteca.
Yep,
Mexico City.
Really?
Yeah.
That game's going to be huge.
Monday night game. It's going to be packed.
Is this the first game of the season there?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They're starting to kind of like how they do it in London now. I think in London they're doing 4 to 5 games, and they're just doing 1 in Mexico a year. I think next year you're gonna try and bump it up to 2, and then try and like do the same thing like 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but every year it's huge there. Like the last year, I think it was the Texans against the Raiders, and it was packed. Like you just hear
they don't get football and they enjoy it just as much as we do.
Oh hell yeah! They had like you just saw a bunch of Raiders fans. It was a Raiders home game.
Well, the entire city of LA went to Mexico City.
Pretty much.
LA and Oakland just went to Mexico City.
Yeah, like whoa, vámonos way.
Yeah.
Get stay at cousin Juanita's house. You just gotta make your breakfast in the morning. Pick your chicken.
yeah, don't name it.
Don't name it.
Hey, so have you heard of anything about these free agencies happening in the Dodgers? Like Muncy rejecting his offer. Ryu is coming back for next year. But I saw something online about Muncy. You know how he's now a free agent.
Yeah.
They gave him a qualifying offer, and he said no thanks. So the Los Angeles Dodgers have a number of free agents this offseason, with the biggest being shortstop Manny Machado, which can go fucking suck a dick.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Starter Hyunjin Ryu and catcher Yasmani Grandal. Players that get traded in the middle of the season are not eligible to receive a qualifying offer, so the Dodgers cannot extend one to Machado.
Yeah.
But they did decide to offer the pack to both Ryu and Grandal. If either was to accept, they would receive a 1-year, $17.9 million contract to remain with the Dodgers. If they reject, then they are allowed to test free agency, and the Dodgers will receive compensation in the form of a draft pick if they sign elsewhere. So the Dodgers seem to be in a pretty cool position right now where they could just kind of pick which way they want to take the team. Both players had 10 days to accept or reject the qualifying offer, and it appears that Grandal has come to a decision, as according to Robert Murray of The Athletic, he has rejected and opted for free agency.
Oh, okay, so Grandal opted for free agency. Okay, you said Muncy at first.
I'm so sorry. I did say Muncy.
No, that's fine. I was a little concerned.
Yeah.
I was very concerned. I was like, wait, what? No, he's not a free agent? What's happening? What's going on here?
That was my bad.
Grandal, that kind of makes sense because, statistically for the regular season, Grandal was one of the best catchers in the league.
Yep.
He was. He just, for some reason, imploded in the postseason.
Who knows what happened, man.
He had the yips. He just lost it. So
I mean, he was named All-Star in 2015 and hit 89 home runs, which is the most for a catcher in the National League in over 4 years.
Yeah,
so.
he's a great hitter, a great catcher. I hope they can re-sign him maybe to something more reasonable, but most likely he's gone. Yeah. And the Dodgers will probably end up bringing someone up from their farm system.
Actually, if the Dodgers are to go in a different direction, one option may be Miami Marlins catcher JT Realmuto, who they were recently linked to, although it would take a hefty haul of prospects to complete at trade.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Realmuto's an all-star caliber, and he's young. I think he's only like 22, 23.
Yeah, he's not an old person.
No. Yes. I mean, well, especially for baseball, though, because, the baseball players can play up to 45 years old.
That's why I said old person. Yeah. I mean, you got motherfuckers like Cal Ripken Jr.
You got Bartolo Colon still playing, and he still wants to play. Yeah. Like, that guy, from when he started, that guy gained an extra 200 pounds, and he's still pitching.
Hey, man, if you can throw a ball, I need a burger.
Power to him, man.
Yeah, what are you gonna
He
do?
looks like I can't. You know what? I'm not even gonna finish that sentence.
What the fuck?
I know, right? I know. But let's move over to the basketball world.
Yeah, what's happening in the National Basketball Association there, Josh?
So, right now, the Lakers are actually starting to look a little better. We just signed Tyson Chandler to a veterans minimum contract. So for those of you guys that don't know, or if you haven't been following the Lakers, they kind of stumbled out of the gate.
Yeah,
they started 4-6,
especially with that fight in their first home game.
Pretty much, that did not start us off very well.
That didn't bode well.
But there were like glimmers of hope. the young guys, some of them were looking good, like Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram looked good at times when he played.
Right.
But they just didn't seem. They seemed out of sync at times. Their pick and roll. I mean, there's no communication. Half the time, you just see a guy be able to run into the lane and then dunk it. I mean, there's no communication as far as on defense. So they needed to, make a move. So recently, the Phoenix Suns had waived Tyson Chandler, who was due to make $13 million this year on a Suns team that's pretty much not competing. Like, they just got a rookie, the number 1 pick, DeAndre Ayton, and they're pretty much starting him and grooming him. So they said, all right, Tyson, you know what? If you want to go compete, you can go ahead and sign with the team. And he said, before he even, they waived him, he's like, if I get waived, I'm signing with the Lakers.
Damn.
So he's from Compton. He grew up in Compton. He went to Dominguez Hills, or Dominguez High School in Compton. And then he was drafted. He was one of those players that was drafted straight out of high school. So he's a hometown kid, and he's changed the team so far in these last few games. Like, he hasn't been putting up big numbers, but he's been a part of
influencing. Good.
Well, this last game he played, it came down to the wire against the Atlanta Hawks. It was the Hawks against the Lakers. Trae Young, the young point guard for the Hawks, was coming up, and he was pretty much throwing a floater down. It looked like it was in the right trajectory to go through. Tyson Chandler jumped up just enough, tipped it to slow it down, and it missed.
Nice.
And game over. They
And
won
that
the game.
was
Won the
sick.
game. Yeah. I believe the game ended 111 to 110. Lakers.
So close.
Yeah. So, and everyone's hyped. Everyone's on fire. Everyone's super excited. LeBron at first was even kind of they don't want to be around me. He said in an interview, he's like, they don't want to be around me when I lose my patience.
Yeah.
But then he recently said, he's like, yeah, I almost cracked last week. He's like, but I went back and I reevaluated.
And it would have been very fair.
It would have been very fair.
Yeah, because they were like, dude, these are the Lakers? These
Yeah.
are the new Lakers that everybody's boasting about?
Yeah, but then he kind of checked himself recently, this week, and he said, you know what? I had to step back and then realize I signed up for this. I knew what I was getting myself into. I can't be upset and I can't be surprised. So he's kind of going into it with the good mentality too. So we can't all.
That's good to hear. Considering, a guy at his caliber. I mean,
you wouldn't think he would have so much patience.
Yeah.
I mean, when we having Kobe for all those years,
Kobe wouldn't have that patience.
He didn't, not at all. I mean, he pushed the Lakers to making all these moves.
Yep.
Because he wanted to compete. He wanted to make sure he had a team every year. But LeBron's willing to be patient, especially for the young guys that we got.
Right.
So it's looking good. But Foo, can you imagine some of these young kids on the Lakers, playing with LeBron?
Yeah, it's crazy.
They grew up idolizing these guys.
Yeah.
So, imagine, what would you think, if you idolize somebody, let's say Tom Morello, you finally, your first time meeting him, what would you hope that first time would go like?
Well, I have met Tom Morello.
Okay, well, how did it go?
It went amazing. I mean, he's a really cool guy. Even when I met Zach De La Rocha, my favorite lyricist of all time.
Oh, that's right. You did tell us that story.
It was just a great experience. A really nice guy. Very personable. It just felt like he was one of the guys I've known him my entire life. He was just we were just busting balls and shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's great, right? You think you would come out with a great sense of feeling, meeting your hero, or maybe some intimidation. Well, that didn't go that way for Allen Iverson when he met his hero Michael Jordan for the first time.
Okay, what happened?
So on a recent clip on Complex Sports, Allen Iverson was interviewed, and he and basically they asked him, what it was like coming into the league, and playing with Jordan. So here's a little sound clip from Complex Sports News from their Twitter page. Let's go ahead and take a listen here.
It's who you said you wanted to be like. And I've heard you say multiple times that when you saw him for the first time on the court, you could literally see the aura around him.
Because that was my guy. That was my hero.
Did you talk to him before the game at all?
No.
It was just strictly...
It was the first time I ever talked to him was that year playing in the rookie game. That was the year they did the top 50 of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they had the jackets on and all that. And I saw him walking through I never forget it because he said, "What's up, you little bitch?" I never forget it. I looked at him like, "All right, man."
What do you say back to that?
Yeah. And why does he sound like Charlie Murphy? Like he's about to tell us like a true Hollywood story.
A true Hollywood story. That's how it sounds, right? I mean, that's how that's Allen Iverson now, yo.
Yeah.
He's the OG of the league, man. He
just an
says
OG.
like this. Yeah, man. Dude, that's hilarious. Imagine that.
Like,
Imagine
literally,
that
what
shit.
do you say to that?
Right?
He's like, all right, man.
What's up, you little bitch? So, what the
What the
fuck? Oh, all right. I mean, like he said, all right, then it's going to be like that.
I feel like you should just apologize to the man.
Right? He's like,
sorry.
What did I do? I'm sorry.
He was competing against him. That's what happened.
Right, he stepped up to him. Don't step up.
Don't step up to Jordan.
Don't step up to the legend, Magic Mike.
Is he still rocking that Hitler stash? By the way, I know he's not doing Hanes commercials, but is he still rocking that Hitler mustache?
You know what? I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe I haven't seen photos of him in a while.
He must have some terrible friends. I mean, nobody's telling him that thing looks ridiculous on him.
It's a chaplain.
It's a chaplain.
Yeah, that's how everybody defines it. Yeah, that's what Hitler said too. It's a chaplain, everybody.
Wow. No, he doesn't have it anymore.
Jesus,
it's
Adolf, that's a racist-looking mustache. It's the chaplain. Don't even trip. I'm sure that's how it went down over in Berlin back in the day. Back to you.
And that was Josie's racist moment.
That wasn't racist. Shut the fuck up.
God.
Dude, you're getting very heated.
You're right. Jesus Christ.
Repugnant.
Back on track. So, Foo, do you remember the Ball family?
The Ball family?
The Ball family with Mr. LeVar Ball.
Oh, you're not Lucille?
Not Lucille. No, that's the better Ball family.
Okay, all right.
The more successful Ball family.
The more successful Ball family.
Yeah,
all
come
right.
on, man. Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Lovely woman.
Oh, now we're talking about
Yeah,
Lucille?
now we're talking about Lucille
now I'm
Ball.
confused. All right, go. All right. All right, so what are we talking about now?
What?
So
my balls?
Foo, did you know that the youngest of the Ball family, LeAngelo and LaMelo, you remember that they were pulled out of high school?
Yeah. Didn't they go like to Europe or something to go play?
Yeah,
or
so they played in Lithuania. Yeah,
that's right.
BC by what the hell is the name of that?
It's not important, is it?
Yeah, is it? Nah, not really. Anyway, so recently,
nope.
You know, LeAngelo, the younger, the middle child, I guess he wasn't good enough to get drafted in the league this year at all.
In Lithuania?
No. So he played. He was going to go to UCLA.
Okay.
So he couldn't go back to high school anymore. So then he pretty much played 1 year in Lithuania, hoping that would qualify him for the draft. It did. They still do. But no one drafted him. Now, nowhere in the first or second rounds, and then no one even invited him for workouts.
Damn.
That he sucked that bad. So pretty much LeVar Ball created this new league called the Junior Basketball League, and pretty much like hiring amateurs. So, you know, LeAngelo's in there as well as the youngest son, LaMelo, who's only 17 years old. And so LaMelo decided that, you know what, he didn't want to play in that league anymore, so he's going to go back to high school. So he ended up he decided to go to Spire Academy in Ohio, which is like a private school, and they're not really, they're not really regulated by Ohio State, or Ohio County or Cleveland County regulations.
All right.
So they can play any leagues, and they don't have to worry about him going to colleges and stuff. But he said he still wants to play 1 year in college, and the NCAA won't let him come back.
Why?
Because
of his dad?
Because he technically revoked, or he resigned? No. What the hell is that word? Rescinded his amateur status.
Oh,
when he left by joining the professional leagues overseas, as well as joining that JBL, and then also with his shoe deals and all this money and stuff. So he's still like really dead set on going in to college and then going into the NBA. But they're saying it's going to be impossible. Like, this kid pretty much was screwed from the get-go by his dad.
Yeah.
So,
you think if they try to do too much?
Yes,
all at once?
Oh, yeah.
His dad is insane.
The dad,
His dad is insane.
Do they still have that TV show?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's on Facebook Live. Yeah.
Oh, that's where it's at.
Yeah, Ball in the Family. That's the only reason why it's even getting any recognition, because it's on Facebook Live. This is on Instagram, so, they can't get mad.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man. I just thought it was interesting. Like, what do you like? The kid should have just stayed, right?
I mean, who knows? Do you think? I mean, obviously, he's not working that hard right now to get drafted by the NBA. Who's to say he would have been that talented if he went to college?
Well, LiAngelo is not the talented one. That's the middle one. Him. Yeah, I don't have any quarrels about. Because he fucked up. He's the kid that got caught for shoplifting in China. Fuck you
That's
doing,
right.
Man?
Yeah. What are you doing, man?
What are you doing, man?
Why?
Yeah, exactly. It's all stupid. Yeah, Jello was the idiot. But LaMelo, the youngest one, I mean, he should have just stayed in high school. 16, 17?
Yeah.
Kid had no business fucking...
That's true.
Leaving.
Yeah, and that's his dad. I mean...
and that's what it's coming down to. It's like LeVar kind of set him back a little bit by doing all this and just jumping straight on the Lonzo bandwagon and trying to make him the face of the Lakers in LA. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's not, because it's all about LeBron.
Exactly. That's where it kind of backfired on him.
So, yeah, they'll be all right.
Yeah, so. But at least the Lakers are looking better, man.
Yeah.
At least the Lakers are looking better. So
Woo.
If you guys can afford it, save up like 3 months rent and then buy a Lakers ticket so you can sit in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, don't pay your rent, everybody. Go to a Laker game.
No. Don't pay your rent. Don't pay your rent. Just tell your landlord you'll pay him in April when you get your tax return.
Jesus.
That's it for me in sports.
All right. Well, man, Steph, I got a joint report.
Are you on weed? Give me some. I'll smoke you two under the table.
It's from the bone. Well, on the news today, this is out of the BostonGlobe.com. I pulled up something that said, VA will explore medical marijuana for veterans, but only if federal law changes, the secretary says. So, that's the Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Robert Wilkie, as he addressed today being the day that we observe Veterans Day here in the U.S. Marijuana Movement is a wire service assembled by Tom Angel, a marijuana legislation activist and journalist covering marijuana reform nationwide. The views expressed by Angel or Marijuana Movement are neither endorsed by the Globe, nor do they reflect the Globe's views. I have to say that because I'm fucking quoting the Globe. If marijuana is federally legalized, the Department of Veteran Affairs is considering letting benefits go towards medical cannabis for veterans, VA Secretary Robert Wilkie said on Friday. But until then, the issue is a non-starter. Asked whether medical marijuana was among the alternative therapies the VA would explore for patients, Wilkie said flatly that cannabis is against federal law.
Yeah.
But if that changed, would you be okay with it? They asked. And he's just like, if the laws change and there's medical evidence there, which there has been, of course we'll look at that.
Yeah.
But the law is pretty clear at the federal level. I think he's just trying to cover his ass. But while there have been legislative attempts to force the VA to allow its doctors to recommend cannabis, none of those proposals have been enacted into law, and internal department policy currently prohibits such activities, even at facilities that operate in legal marijuana states. For now, the most VA doctors can do is discuss cannabis with patients, but they can't fill out state forms to help veterans obtain it. But if things do change at the federal level, and some insiders are under the impression that cannabis reform will soon be on the White House agenda, it looks like medical cannabis will at the very least get a second look from VA officials. So the conversation is starting because, I mean, it's the best way to treat these veterans. for a lot of their chronic pain and PTSD.
I have to tell you that some of my patients are actually veterans, and they tell me all of these horror stories about the VA or their benefits and how they just suck. Because the government's not taking care of the veterans.
Right.
And so something like this would actually benefit them.
Yeah, because it's abundant. At least here in California, it is.
Oh yeah.
But like if you're in a state that's naysaying on all that cannabis stuff, then it's going to be very difficult to treat your symptoms. I mean, if you have like I said earlier, a chronic pain, some PTSD, some anxiety.
Yeah, that's when you see people going or exploring with other types of drugs. They tend to depend on oxycodone or narco or those other types of narcotics or painkillers. More.
Yeah, all the opioids.
All the opioids.
And then that's what causes like an opioid epidemic. And then you just find all these former veterans that are strung out on pills.
Just legalize it, man.
Just do it.
Legalize it.
Just legalize it.
Just do it.
Save your brothers and your sisters.
America needs some integrity.
That's right. For those watching South Park, the last string of South Park episodes have been fucking on point with Randy buying that weed farm.
Yeah. Son, you need some integrity.
You need some integrity. Well, man, until then, our veterans will just have to try to figure it out, keep it on the hush-hush if they really want to get some weed and try to treat their symptoms. But you know what? I think the more and more other countries, more states in the U.S. are moving in that direction. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of how soon.
It's going to happen slowly but surely. It's actually funny because if you think of the parallels in our time right now it's 2018.
Yeah.
If you think back to 1918, around that time, what was really going on? Yeah, prohibition.
Yeah.
Prohibition of alcohol. Right now, this is prohibition of marijuana. So it's happening, cyclically. Like, history always happens in cycles.
Yeah, but that only lasted like 20 years or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like
this is a much longer, but
it's been going down since the 70s and like when Nixon made it illegal. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the topics that happen around this time.
Yeah, well now it's because we get to.
Yeah.
We get to have the topic, which is nice. But yeah, man, that was my joint report.
Smoke weed every day.
Josh.
Yes, I will.
Well, here's the music highlight. Well, Eargasm high fidelity earplugs already trusted by 100,000 customers and growing. Enjoy your favorite activities without worrying about damage to your ears. Keep the noise to a minimum, but still hear people talking and hear music with clarity. Discreet design, and it comes with a lightweight aluminum case for easy transport. Click through the banner at FooBarShow.com to get yours and help support the show. Eargasm. Put it in your ear. Okay, well, on today, I picked 3 new songs. I know I there was a lot of songs that I'll probably end up getting to that probably didn't get the love that they deserved back when they came out. So I'm just like, fuck that. I don't want to think too much. We'll probably do that tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And these are 3 new songs that have been coming up on the on my playlists, and I'm enjoying the shit out of them. So this first one is by a band called Black Honey. It's off of their single Black Honey, and the song is called What Happened to You.
Feel so
So this one reminds me of like a female-led filter, almost.
Okay, yeah, I see that. I mean, all I could picture when it was opening was like, you know, Blade walking through the crowd in like a nightclub, and all of a sudden, slash.
It's a scene with the blood spraying down through the sprinkler system, right?
Yeah, that's
and
scene.
The strobe light.
Yeah, and the strobe light's going on, and all of a sudden, it just starts cutting down some vampires.
Vampires everywhere.
They gotta have Blade and Blade in the music video for this one.
Yeah.
No, this is sick. Yeah, filter, female filter.
Good song, I mean. Yeah.
Femter.
Femter.
Female filter. Femter. Nobody? Anybody?
Get out.
Bye.
Yes, I got it eventually. All right. This next one is by a band called Indoor Pets. It's it's off of their single called High.
Any relation to the Pet Shop Boys?
None.
Oh.
Yeah. And the song is called High.
Get that high horse. I'll never put that course. I'll never get that.
I'm gonna call her right now. That shit's going in a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But first,
so?
I need to get that high.
Well, they only spell high H-I.
Yeah.
But you know what they mean.
I know what
they mean.
I can hear it in the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
Somebody's running down the street, right? They're chasing after somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's a totally in a Wes Anderson movie.
Definitely.
We just need to figure out which one and who Jason Schwartzman's going to be playing.
I can't wait.
Well, this next one is by a band called Goodbye June. Also came out this year. It's off of their EP called Secrets in the Sunset. I've been enjoying this one the most out of the three. It's called Live in the Now.
Flickers on like the sparks in my mind. I've been waiting so long to change my usage of time. You know I need it. All my fears are too strong. Have to keep my hands on what's mine. 'Cause I need it.
Oh man, I put these guys like along with like Greta Van Fleet, like that Zeppelin sound.
However, I think that he has more. You know how everybody got mad at Greta Van Fleet when they said that they don't get their influences directly from Led Zeppelin. Instead, they said
from Aerosmith.
They were more Aerosmith influence, which everybody's just like, all right, dude, like come on now,
sit down.
You can go ahead and sit the fuck down because if you ask me, these guys have more of an Aerosmith influence while sounding like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's funny. They're the complete opposite.
If anything, these are the guys that he was talking about.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with either one, but it's like, come on, man. If the fucking car's yellow, say it's yellow. Don't say it's green.
Yeah,
don't
try to swim against the current. I mean, what do you think, Steph?
The guitars are similar to Aerosmith in some songs, but I like it. It takes me back to that whole music era, classic rock era.
That classic rock era, yeah.
And you know what? It's coming back. I think everybody's over the whole pop punk alternative rock thing.
Yeah, it's starting to get dead.
The 90s nostalgia is dying.
Yep.
The 80s nostalgia was done 10, 15 years ago. The 90s nostalgia is almost about over. And I think instead of having some kind of early 2000s nostalgia, we're jumping back to like the 70s.
Pretty much. That's pretty much where it's going.
Thing.
Yeah, because I mean, after the 90s and the 2000s, it was just nothing but
chaos.
It was just punk, all kinds
and hip hop. Hip hop took over the whole music scene.
Yeah, and
so when it came down to rock and roll trying to compete, you couldn't.
Yeah, you had a lot of the bands from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were the only
still
ones
holding it up, like the Foo Fighters, just championing the
Red
genre.
Hot Chili Peppers, Queens of the Stone Age was doing it for a while as well. Like. And then you had like Jane's Addiction try to make a comeback. Remember that?
We Steph and I went to the 9 Inch Nails Jane's Addiction show. They called it the Ninja Show.
The Ninja Show.
Mm-hmm.
The Ninja Show. Yep. That's dope. That sounds dope. No, these guys are dope.
Dude, these guys are they're entertaining. The videos they have up on YouTube are pretty cool.
This is Goodbye June.
This is Goodbye June. It came out this year on their EP called Secrets in the Sunset. So I've been enjoying the shit out of these guys. Greta Van Fleet.
Secrets in the Sunset. This sounds like something I would listen to while watching the sunset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With a nice margarita. What's your drink of choice there, Steph?
Margarita's fine with a nice umbrella.
Oh.
Yes. Make it fancy.
Make it fancy.
Well, shit, man. We're going to do another show tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So that one's going to go up on Saturday. This one's going up on Thursday. There's no show for The Fallen Electric. We're going to take a little week break, but we'll be back the following week.
Oh.
And we're going to be over at Mount Baldy Lodge. So we're going to go up the mountain and play a show up there.
It's going to be cold as shit.
Some people who are affiliated with the venue went to go see us at the JD Allison show that we just played this last Saturday over in Upland, and they're like, dude, we're enjoying the shit out of you guys. They've already had a few drinks in them. and you know, we sound better, and we tell people, it's like, trust me, we'll sound better if you order more drinks. And they do, and then we do. And then they come up to us and just like, yeah, we're enjoying the shit out of you guys. We're actually affiliated with the Mount Baldy Lodge. And yeah, dude, it's going to be, I believe, the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We're playing out there. It should be a really good time. It's not a big place. It's very intimate. And then when they booked us, they're just like, just make sure you're not too loud when you're in there. I was just like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, lady. And so we'll be playing Mount Baldy Lodge for the very first time. I'm actually pretty excited. There's been a few local upcoming bands that have gone through that venue, and it's a very, very cool spot because I mean, you got to figure if you're gonna make the trek to go up Mount Baldy, you're gonna expect a good time.
Pretty much.
And
I'm not gonna go up there for nothing.
And the altitude too.
I better not go up there for nothing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, thank you all very much for listening into the Foo Bar Show. Thank you for downloading the pod on most major podcast apps, subscribing, and telling a friend like a champ. You can always reach us at Foo Bar Show. That's FOOBarshow.com. And FOO Bar Show is our handle on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out, drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of foos. I've been Josie.
I've been Jeff.
And for Steph, signing off, saying, don't be a dick.